Hi, this is Freddy.
And this is Marky.
We are here to help you play the best games at the lowest possible price. And with that being said, let's get started.
We're going to start our deals off with a little indie darling hanging out on the Nintendo eShop. This is actually a fairly recent release back in February. It's Bluefire. Normally $19.99. You can actually get it for a special price of $11.99 on the eShop. Bluefire should be a name that should be on the radar of anybody who loves those really specific platforming adventures. It's got a little bit of combat. It's got a lot of customization in giving you extra abilities that help you on your platforming. And while it's challenging, it's not like, destroy your controller challenging. It's actually a very cute designed, but also dark platforming adventure that you get to explore a big wide open world and fight specific bosses that test your abilities at every turn and give you optional dungeons called voids that you can tackle to help improve your abilities even more. The better you succeed, the more powerful you can get. It's completely built around testing your knowledge of platforming as well as your reflexes. It should be on the radar for a lot of people, mostly because, people who play Mario, people who play Sonic, people who play all that stuff, some people can say it's too easy. I hear that every now and again. Well, here's something that I think can test it in a way that's comfortable for you and lets you enjoy a beautiful story as well. It's got like that little Hollow Knight chibi aesthetic. All the characters look small, it's got a few side characters, almost everything's out there to kill you. But it presents things well, and for a darling little indie game, it looks fantastic and runs really great on the Switch. It's normally $20. Steep if you want to find something that you're trying to experiment with, but $12? It's a steal at that point, so if you can, check it out.
The next game we have on Nintendo eShop is Mark of the Ninja Remastered for $4.99, dropping all the way from its regular price of $20. This is a remaster to the game that was originally made on Xbox 360. This is a stealthy platformer game at its core. So, as a ninja, you'll be hiding most of the time and do sneak attack and pass area without anyone noticing. However, you do have the option to attack directly, but if you press the wrong buttons, the guards around you will be alarmed. And even though the game is 2D, the visual are still fantastic. It's not about moving left and right. The game has a lot of pathway to overcome each section of the map, and it allows you to be very creative in the way you need to overcome each obstacle. The game also has a new Game Plus mode, which means you can replay the game and keep all your upgraded gears, but your enemies will be at a higher difficulty since they have a better awareness. This will extend the game length from 10 hours to about 17 hours. The cartoony cutscenes between the levels, the story, and the voice acting all combined will make this title an addicting game, and a great one to grab especially at its lowest price ever.
If you've been enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications.
Subscribing will help our channel grow, and it will help you get the best deals before they expire.
All right, let's keep going. Our next game is hanging over at the eShop as well. This one's for another indie darling. This one is for YookaLaylee. Now, normally you can find the game at $39.99, but we got a nice price for you, or rather the eShop does, to get you down to $9.99, just $10. When you're going to hear the discussion around YookaLaylee, I think the biggest comparison, of course, is that it's very mimicking the Banjo-Kazooie games, specifically Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. I'm here to tell you that yes, while the game does do a lot, and I mean a lot, to make itself as close to Banjo-Kazooie as possible, there's enough in here that I think separate it from that game that allow you to enjoy itself on its own. So that way you wouldn't need to, I feel in some cases, needlessly compare it to a game that is shown so bright in the previous generations. It's a great game on its own right. You get to do all kinds of special abilities with Yuka and Laylee. You unlock different elemental abilities. There's so many different challenges, things that harken to other games as well, specifically Donkey Kong Country. It even has a sequel based on the Donkey Kong Country games, and it's fantastic too. If you look at the game on its own, it's a fantastic 3D platformer with big open worlds that allow you to explore things at your own pace and witness some very silly tongue-in-cheek writing at the moment. It's very comedy focused too, nothing too serious. It's a big open world to find, other smaller levels to explore, all kinds of things to collect, and nothing that I feel make it too tedious. It's a fantastic game. I got it at full price, and I could definitely recommend it to you at just $10. So if you can pick it up, give it a shot, see what happens.
The next game we have is also on Nintendo eShop, and this time we have Canon for $5.99, dropping all the way from $20. This is a Metroidvania crawler game at its core. The developer of this game deserves a lot of credit in my opinion, due to putting a lot of effort into designing the game under the procedural generation style. This means that the algorithm will put together a new connective room each time you die. Now, of course, certain spots that are important to the story plot will stay the same from game to game, but the room design will change every time you go through it, which I found very interesting and unique. The game shines the most with its solid combat mechanics that resemble Castlevania, where you have one button for melee attack and the other button that you can use for an offense based on your choice. However, the downside about the game is that the passing of certain rooms were too long without much progress in the story, but luckily, the level will end up with epic boss battles along with immersive music, make the game a definitely recommended title, especially when it is all-time low.
Got a few honorable mentions coming your way. Our first one's over at the eShop. This one's for Okami HD. Normally $19.99, you can get it for $9.99, just half off. Of course, Okami is a PS2 darling that recently got the HD treatment, available on all platforms, but you can get it for $10 now on the Switch. Fantastic game, beautiful art style, and many different stories to explore, as well as some culture heading your way if you're into that kind of stuff. Another honorable mention we have is for the Borderlands Legendary Collection. Now, this deal is for $19.99, normally a $50 game, and this deal is actually active at Walmart, GameStop, as well as Amazon, so you've got some choices when you're trying to find it. This is for a physical version of the game, so you're looking at a cartridge. Of course, Borderlands Legendary Collection, you get Borderlands 1, you get Borderlands 2, you get Borderlands the pre-sequel, and all DLC in one beautiful package on the Switch. Beautiful first-person shooter RPGs with great comedic writing and some silly fun for you and up to 4 players. It's definitely worth a shot at that price.
Remember, it's a new month, so if you got the membership from GameStop, you have another $5 coupon to use, and you can use it toward these sales. Also, if you're buying from Target, you can also use the red card to get 5% off on the sale price. Now, remember that many of the deals that we mentioned from last week could still be applicable until now, so make sure to check those. Another reminder is that any game we mention on Nintendo eShop is a digital game by default, except when we mention games for retailers, these will be physical games. I personally like to keep everything cost effective, and I always think long term, like what I'm gonna do with the game after I buy it. So in that sense, I always think that physical games are better than digital games, unless they are there's a huge gap in the price between digital and physical game. So the reason I chose physical game over digital is because after you beat the game and you don't need to play it anymore, you have the option to sell it locally either through Offer app or Facebook, or you can also trade it back to GameStop and get some money back for it. Of course, choose trade credit in that case, not cash, to get the most amount of money. And then you can use that money toward buying another game on sale. So that's my advice overall.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, please let us know in the comments if you've played any of the games that we mentioned this week.
Also, let us know if you would like us to cover more good games that are on sale without deals, or would you guys prefer that we cover more games with less details?
Thank you, and be sure to check out our channel next week for more deals.
Thank you for watching.